We're live. We did it.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome if you're watching live, which no one is yet.
Yeah.
But welcome if you're not watching live. We're also glad you're here.
Mm-hmm.
This is my friend Melchizedek, and he and I are taking a very small position in comparison to a pet cemetery that's near my home. This is I took this picture.
Oh, that's by you. That's cool.
Yeah, this is in my neighborhood. I took it on Easter Day several years ago. So, and there's hundreds of crosses. It's pretty cool.
With the tulips, that's really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's this old couple.
Wow.
Their kids, one of their pets died, and they wanted to bury their pet out in the orchard, and they did. And they put up a little cross, and then they had another pet that died, and they buried it and put up a cross. And then one of their kids' friends had a pet that died and asked if they could bury their pet, and it just grew from there. And now it's hundreds and hundreds of pets that are put to rest respectfully underneath old apricot trees with tulips planted among them. It's just beautiful. I love
for that much death. It's a really upbeat picture.
Well, it's Easter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the perfect Easter picture, in my opinion. So, it's like my favorite Easter picture. Anyway,
I saw you were cheating on me with Grim the other night. With Grizz.
Yeah. Well, he joined my stream. We crossed the streams, as they recommend you don't do.
You guys crossed streams?
We did. We crossed streams.
No doubt. Wow.
I need to pull that clip up so I can have it ready to play it at will.
Ready.
I need to edit that.
Yeah,
clip.
I like that.
That'd be fun. Don't cross the streams.
No. I was surprised to see him on Heavy Things Lightly the other week. That was kind of fun. John Hears and Grimwald. Well, come on.
PVK explained or described Grimgriz really well. He said he's like a skittish cat that has slowly been not necessarily domesticated, but at least less feralized. He's been calmed down a little bit, so now he can actually endure talking without being in character for at least short amounts of time.
I kind of like him in character.
I do too. I love his channel. It was definitely an acquired taste. When I first got there, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? It's very it almost feels like shielding for mind control itself, because it's so kind of overstimulating that I don't know. Maybe it's trampling down death by death, because there's a lot going on there. It took me a while to kind of start understanding what he might be up to.
Right. Yeah. Remember, you're talking to me, and you see my channel and my videos. So
true. You're someone else who likes to
overstimulating.
Yes, overstimulate is a big thing. Yeah.
Which actually, that level of overstimulation just puts me in my sweet spot. That's where I feel normal. There's enough going on that I can kind of chill.
Yes, I understand. Unfortunately, I can relate.
Nice.
We've been calloused, I think, by a lot of stimulation all the time in all the things, right?
Well, I have this new rule for anything that comes to me on a screen. And I was explaining this to Yaron de Christodolos the other day, right? Where I was like, look, if it's on a screen, it's for entertainment purposes only. That's it, period. Okay, because we're in this time where the level of deep fakes, I'm seeing deep fakes now and AI stuff that I can't immediately even recognize as AI. I actually have to pay attention to notice it's AI. We're on the other side of the uncanny valley.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, in a world like that, wisdom would sort of dictate, if you can't trust anything, just de facto, by the way things are and what we know about technology, you just shouldn't use that kind of thing to try to get to the bottom of things or the truth or whatever it is. Like,
Yeah.
and
It
I
was
think
probably all
that's my yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's like you're kind of falling for it if you think you're going to figure out who murked Charlie Kirk by listening
Right.
to like Candace Owens or something, right? Like, it's just, you're never going to get to the bottom of this stuff. It's designed so that you never get to the bottom of it. It's designed so you keep come back to the same trough. So that's fine for entertainment. I don't mind watching the show.
Yeah.
But don't expect me to take any of this seriously.
Yeah, it really is designed to be the white stag in the enchanted forest, right? That you just always see on the horizon.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Yeah. Well, and I think
that takes the pressure off.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's
like, I'm fairly certain you're real because you've been to my house.
And you've been to my house.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Well, along that line, two things I wanted to say. One was I have started using my phone. I put it on black and white mode lately, and that helps. That helps reduce the enchantment, right? It helps break the spell.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a little spell breaking technique. So wait, so you put your whole phone is on black, like all the videos you watch, everything's black and white?
Yeah. Grayscale.
You're going old timey.
Yeah, 1950s TV right here. Yeah.
You can. I didn't know you could just do that.
Yeah, you put it in. So I don't have an iPhone.
That is one of the most. Wow. Yeah. I just got an iPhone, so I don't know how to do it on that. I switched. I finally switched.
I'm sure I know you can. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, that's
the way you do it there's a sleep mode, and sleep mode in Android is apparently black and white. It's like grayscale. You can pick it, and so you
probably get like 40 hours of battery time too.
It does help, because you can turn the brightness down.
These little responses to our age of the machine, are fascinating to me. Like when I see how people are making little protests or little movements away from just, the way they want you to kind of interact with this stuff. Mm-hmm. It's really quite compelling. I mean, for my son and his generation, it means more like arts and crafts, or his friends come over and they just cook dinner, they hang out, they play board games, like it's I almost wonder if humanity is getting to this point where like we've had enough of this stuff. We just can't take anymore. We got to find ways to reject it that work back towards being human. Like that's kind of a green shoot growing up in the middle of this like technocratic wasteland.
I agree completely. My daughter's going through the same thing. So she started college. She's studying to be an airplane mechanic. And it's the greatest thing, because you cannot ironically fix an airplane, right? You cannot deconstruct a piston into being a cat, right? Like, you're dealing with real physical problems that don't go away if you wish them away. And so because of that, like 80% of her time is spent in a shop with tools. And she is so much more embodied just in 3 months. Like she sat with me yesterday. We had like a 30-minute beautiful conversation. She was sharing with me some of her insights, things that she's been learning and understanding about herself and about her friends and stuff like that. Never touched her phone. Her phone was over on the table, and she's like, I don't even care. She's like, she's like, when I get an impulse to pick up my phone, I just say no. And she said, even if I go to grab it, I just say no, and then I put it back in my pocket. She's like, she rides the bus to school with no headphones, no phone, no, just sit, watch people. It's like, I can't tell you what a transformation this is, and I'm so happy about it. I'm so happy to see it.
It's so funny because like
the spell's being broken.
Like
right?
I grew up with that.
Right.
Like I grew up without a cell phone. None of my friends had cell phones. Like if you wanted to call your friends, you'd call their house, and usually their parents would answer. So you'd have to talk to your friend's parents before you get to talk to your friends.
Call the girl and you're talking to her dad, right? Hello.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. Totally. Right. Like right
is
away.
Megan there? I don't know. Who's
Yeah.
this is a dorky guy who wants to
Exactly.
talk to your daughter. You know why?
Yeah. Totally. But it was cool because I knew all of my friends' parents.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
like you had to sort of, you were part of that whole ecosystem, like, or that whole relational fabric, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And it's only now, like, if I actually think about it, you think of all that's lost. Like, I memorized all my friends' phone numbers, you know, like I knew all their phone numbers by memory.
Right.
And, you know, or like a music festival, like I remember being at, like, I think it was the second Lollapalooza, you know, and it was amazing. But there's like thousands, like, I don't know, 20,000 people out, you know, at this concert. Yeah. And I would just bump into my friends without even like trying. Like, we would just run into each other throughout the whole event when we needed to, like, run into each other. There was something really sort of like trust the universe about that. It works. It works. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. You just shortcut so much of that stuff with this technology.
Yeah, I agree. And there's this one YouTube comment that will haunt me for the rest of my life. There was this beautiful song, and it's from the 70s, and I can't remember the name of the song. I'd have to look it up, and I don't want to take the time to find it right now. But it's this beautiful song, and this lady said she will always remember hearing that song live on the beach in California, because she walked onto the beach and that song started playing, and she was walking along and all of the radios on the beach were tuned to that station. And so as she kept walking, she heard that song and then saw, you know, and everybody was just taking in the sun and the waves and the smell of the ocean. She's like, I can instantly be there. But everyone was listening to the same song on the radio. Like, that's gone. Yeah. Gone. Right?
Gone.
Like, I was telling my kids, like, we all watched the same show on Wednesday night, and we all talked about it on Thursday at school. That's gone.
Right. Yeah, it is. Now, also looking back on that time, I realized what a psyop Saturday morning cartoons were, right? Or some of that same stuff. Like, it's not like I'm pining for those days. It's not like I want that back per se. It's just, you know, it was an interesting time.
Yeah. Well, there was
things just worked. They worked in a different kind of way.
Yeah, we were all programmed to be rebels, which was so ironic, right? Like, it was.
Is it so though? Ironic. Right? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it was funny. It was like contained rebellion, you know. At least we all got psyched.
Oh
together.
No!
Yeah, there we go.
Look, there we go. Bring that guy on the stream.
I know. Well,
we did get psyched together.
I need to post the link. Here we go. I will post the link in the chat, because this is we're
dude, it's about to get stupid.
We're just free flowing here. So anybody who wants to join, hop in. We didn't really have an agenda. You know, the other thing I wanted to talk about, though.
You had a few things you want to talk about.
Yeah, sure. Well, there was something else I was going to mention. I don't remember now. It's gone. Anyway. Yeah. So do you want to get in? Should we get into? Well, okay. So which one do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about what's that word? I got to remember the word.
Well, you were talking about food, and then you were talking about cordyceps. Mushrooms, one of my favorite topics. Sorry, those aren't mushrooms. Those are like little parasites that take over your, your whole system and, start controlling you. Last of Us kind of style.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's look at this. Let's look at picture. Let's put now. Trigger warning: if you don't like things, don't look at this. Look away. But I'm going to share this. If you don't like gross things, look away. But this is a fungus, Cortiseps. Okay. So it's a parasite / Cortiseps. I mean, a parasite fungus. What is it? What is a Cortiseps? So a Cortiseps, what it does is it goes into, okay, I'll stop sharing. That's enough. So it goes into, the spore goes into the insect, like it happens to ants, to
I hear you.
caterpillars, that kind of stuff. And what's that? Hello?
No.
Hello? I hear you. I hear you. Do you not hear me?
Can't hear you.
Oh, I think it's okay.
Let's see.
StreamYard acts like it hears me. Does the audience hear me? Hello? Because I hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, but
I can. Yeah, I can. Yes. Oh,
you can hear me.
the audience.
Yeah, I can't hear you at all.
The audience hears us both.
Okay, you hear us both. Well, thanks,
Mm-hmm.
Grim. You're at a friggin' strategic advantage for this conversation.
You leave.
One of these days, I think we're going to find out Grim Grizz is actually like independently wealthy. You know, like he's like some like billionaire just hiding out, right? And so that's why he has all the time in the world to be on all these streams.
Massive camouflage. Yeah. Okay.
Conspiracy theory. But yeah, I still can't hear you, so I don't know what you did.
Okay. Leave, then come back.
I'm blaming you, of course, for the fact that I can't hear anything. Leave, then come back. Oh, okay. I'll leave and come back. I see. Somebody just wants me off the stream. I see how this works. Hold on.
Okay. So Cortiseps, while he's coming back, I'll tell you a little bit about this. So the spores gets released. It goes into the body of the insect. It comes alive. It starts. Here we go.
I can hear you now.
We go.
All right.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. So it goes. So the spore goes into the body, comes alive, starts doing its thing, makes its way into the brain. It can pass the blood-brain barrier, pass into the brain, and then it starts releasing chemicals that actually kind of take control of the organism, and it causes it to then climb the nearest tall plant and then die. And then even after it's mostly dead, it still can climb, and it gets up to the top, and it's waiting for another animal to come past, releases the spores, it gets into it just keeps propagating this way. But the big thing is that it's a parasite that basically takes control of you. Turns the insect into a zombie essentially, and then gets the zombified organism to act out the fungus's will, so that the fungus can then reproduce. So this is kind of a metaphor for. I ran into a book called Cortiseps, and this woman is using this as a metaphor to talk about, like, she calls it like an apersonal parasitic force that essentially propagates through our social systems and does the same thing to people. It basically parasitically lives off of our life force, but it's pushing us. Psilocybin does the same. Yeah, Grizz, you could say that. You're probably interacting with the same force, just in a different mode. I would say
he asked that as a question, but I think he meant that more as a statement.
Well, yeah, it was. There was a smiley face at the end, so I thought it was, a wink, wink, nod, nudge, nudge kind of situation.
By the way, what's interesting about this is one of our first conversations was you and I riding back from that Orthodox Ethos conference, and all I did was talking about the like narrow window benefit of psychedelics the whole way. And you were trying to say, "Nah, Melky, that's nonsense." But
no, I've had experiences, and actually I had kind of one experience where I had been depressed for like 10 years, like deeply depressed, and I did salvia and laughed. It would just like instantly put me into the hardest laughing session I've ever had in my life. And I was just laughing. I couldn't stop. And I even, like, after a few minutes, I was laughing. And my brother said, "Wow, I've never seen him like this before." And I couldn't even hardly control my breath enough to say it. But I said, "It's because you're not funny," which then made me laugh even more, right? But yeah, I will confess, yeah, it was a laugh gas. Yes, it was. Well, no, I didn't go that far. It wasn't that. It
A
didn't go that.
laughgasm.
No, it didn't go that far. But what happened was it definitely broke a wall that had been there for a long time, where I hadn't laughed. I hadn't heard anything genuinely funny, or it didn't feel like it in 10 years. And that kind of snapped me out of something. And it was beneficial, but I would never do psychedelics now, not knowing what I know now. There's no way.
No, I'm kind of over them. You know, like it's like I told you before, like the reason I just don't do any of that stuff anymore is it's a junior high. It's just it just has a ceiling. Like I can't get high enough. It like for me, the real stuff is in actual spiritual practice, grounded spiritual practice, sober spiritual practice, where you look at these saints who, after much asceticism, you know, they gain real charisma, real expressions of the Holy Spirit, and it's just beyond any of the sort of, you know, chaos or you know, where those kind of substances can take you. Like, because my problem is with something like psychedelics, to some degree marijuana as well, is there's just too much noise that you have to work through. Like it's too intense to work through very, very effectively. Like you're just better off attaining those states with the benefit of sobriety.
So this is kind of what I was just listening to a presentation from Father Turbo. It's on he's got like a pay channel, or he's got a pay website called Synaxis of Sophia, which I love that name. So it's like a gathering of wisdom.
Yeah.
And in there, so he has a presentation on the darkness of divinity. And he was talking about how psychedelics are basically a form of like this psychic numbing, or the spiritual numbing that we do, where it's overstimulation. To your point, it's like blasting, because he made the point, he's like, if I blast floodlights in your eyes and then tell you paint a beautiful landscape, you know, I mean, assuming you could before, but I'm saying, like, he's like saying you can't see anything because I've blinded you with this overwhelming light. And he's like, psychedelics are essentially the same thing spiritually, where you get your senses are dulled to the point where you don't recognize the real thing anymore, because you think the mysticism should be a psychedelic experience. And he's like, so then you miss out on all of the mystical experiences you have every day. And so he started making the case that, like, cooking a meal, like a mother cooking a meal for her family out of love, is one of the highest mystical experiences. And he said, and even higher than that is you cooking a meal for someone who hates you out of love.
Yeah, but have you ever cooked a meal for someone? Yeah, but hold on. Have you ever cooked a meal for someone who hates you? Like, is that a thing? Do people do that?
How do I put this?
Like, that's an interesting metaphor, but like,
no, yeah.
Like, do you invite people over to your house who hate you and cook them a meal?
I'm related to people who have hated me at some points of my life. So the answer is yes.
Okay.
It's not the case now, but there have been times where I have sat at the same table with people that I can't stand and who can't stand me. But it's because of blood relations and other connections to other people that are in the room for why we're there. And I, right. So what the point that Father Turbo is trying to make, I think, is that by going through that, by learning, so he said the biggest problem people have is that, one, they don't understand, well, they think mysticism is too big and too overwhelming and too high up the mountain. And, he's like, they're always looking for these huge experiences. And he's like, this is mysticism. Like the mother getting up in the middle of the night to feed the baby because the baby's crying is a mystical experience. He's like, that is prayer. And he said, but he's also making the point that we need to learn compassion, because he said the biggest problem of why people feel isolated, why they don't continue in orthodoxy, he's like, you see these people who come in, they're all about it for a couple of years, and then they kind of start fading away, and then we don't see them for a few years until there's some emergency, some crisis in their life. And he said it's because they're looking for this huge experience. They haven't had an actual encounter because they're missing the encounters that they're having every day. And he said it's because we need to develop compassion. And by developing compassion for people who are suffering, you're entering into suffering with Christ, which then opens you up to experiencing Christ's compassion for you. He said, and the people around you, he's like, you can't receive love because your psychic receptors and your spiritual receptors for love have been calloused by being overstimulated. And so he's like, you can't receive love either. He's like, the biggest problem with hospitality is not being a good host, it's being a good guest. And so we need to learn how to be taken care of, how to be loved, and how to recognize God's love. And we do that by learning to love the unlovable. But first we start with our family.
Well,
they're around us.
Yeah.
Right? You start easy, or as easy as it can be, right? The people around you, the people you know.
Yeah.
But that some of those on that list might be the people that you hate or hate you.
Well, I think the guest host thing's really interesting. Yerndo Christodolos, my spiritual father is, yeah, dude. For sure. Yeah, Grimm's onto it there. Yeah. But Yerndo Christodolos talks about this host-guest thing quite a bit in terms of the church in America. One of the things he loves to say is, we need to remember that we are guests here in America. Like the church is less than 1% of the population here, right? Like we're not, it's not Greece or something where or I was listening to a guy talk about Albania where it's like 70% of the people are Orthodox or something, right? Where it's the bulk of the culture. Like in America, we are guests. And so as the church, we should act like guests and be really good guests in this world. And so that I think flies in the face of some of the I think the way orthodoxy in particular is presented, particularly online, here in the West. We're looking to be victorious. We're looking to be like, bigger than we are, or look how many people are coming into the church, or like all of this kind of, really it's very Protestant. It really isn't. Yeah. That's not what we are. Like we're a remnant. We're small stakes here, and
we're still the island of misfit toys
and act appropriately.
Yeah, we're still the island of misfit toys.
And so I think in our ethos, it really is this question of how do we be good guests here in America, and even part of that is how we talk about things online, how we talk about politics, and if we bother even talking about it at all, right? But it's like, okay, America has its thing. It is this way. This is the way the system's designed. We're not trying to overpower that or change it. Like there's just so much noise there. It's okay. This is a supposedly representative democracy. I mean, it's actually an oligarchy, but we need to just be good guests because we're being hosted here.
Yeah, it is my home,
and
it's my home culture. It's where I come from. It's it's my blood, but also, I also don't quite fit, right? Because Orthodoxy kind of like
Well, yeah, I mean, you see that far more pronounced out there in the land of Mormons and coming from the background you're in, like you're in Mormon country. It's
Right.
Yes, you come from that stock, you're come from that culture, but you're in the church, and it's like we're a very, very small thing here, in the home of all this other bigger thing.
Yeah.
And so I think we need to sort of tamp down this whole victory parade that we seem to think we're on, because there's all these people coming into the church, and people converting to Orthodoxy, all this kind of language. I think it's I think that's the wrong way to look at it. Too much triumphalism, right? Coming from
right. Yeah. No,
from
I
our
agree.
side of the table.
Well, and the hard part is we don't have the clergy to support it, right? This is a big deal. This is rough. Like, we're in rough times. That's difficult for new converts to not have a spiritual father who can rein them in. Some of it is good, because now you have to go to your icon corner a lot more, right? Like, I end up doing that. I end up praying a lot more than I would if I had a small parish, I think. I didn't hear that part.
Yeah. I said YouTube is the icon corner, right? Like I just go watch more videos about Orthodoxy and figure it out.
Oh, this is an interesting question. Jesus triumphed over death. Can there be too much triumphalism?
It's a good question, but no, there can't. But that's not what I'm talking about. Is sort of the fake triumphalism of like we're some sort of bigger deal than we are.
Right.
Or shoving at people's faces in their own home. Like if I come into your house and I say, I think your blinds suck. I really hate the way you've decorated your living room. Dude, what's up with your freaking kitchen table? And you try to change all that stuff, right? It's like, what are you doing, man? I just in my house, I'm feeding you a meal, and you're telling me my house sucks. Like that's stupid.
Yeah, I definitely understand.
Because somehow I know better, right?
Right.
We don't want to be the Cortiseps, bro. We're not the Cortiseps of America.
That's a really good analogy. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
Maybe it is. We'll see how Grim weighs in on that. I don't trust anything's good until Grim has commented.
So the Corticeps is basically like Monsters Inc. is not a cartoon for kids. It's a documentary revealing behind the curtain what's going on. That's the idea. And her book was about like snapping out of it. Actually, she used AI to snap out of it, which is wild.
Hey, cool. Another good use for AI.
Yeah, that was the part that blew my mind. She actually came up with some like thought exercises and some exercises and like a frame of thinking that would help her to recognize when she started acting out the program and like stopping herself and going, whoa, no, I don't want to do that. So
how did she use AI to do that? I'm trying to understand what.
So what she did was she had a prompt that she gave, and she said, "Hey, assume this is the framework, that there's a parasitic force that's trying to take control, and these are the mechanisms it uses, and help me to recognize it in my own thinking and snap out of it." And so then, and she was talking. Then it was like, okay, well, what are some of the things that bring you feelings of like shame, and things of like frustration, like points of frustration in your day. And it was like her weight, her feeling like she needs to be more productive all the time, not feeling like she could relax. And it was all just like, yeah, that is part of the programming of this machine that's using that programming to tell you you're not good enough, and that you're not good enough is how it keeps you in line. It's like it's how it draws its energy from you. It's like pulling your life force. It's like trapping your soul in a soul gem, So anyway,
a Horcrux.
Yeah. So it was helping her recognize her patterns of thinking, and then it's basically like mindfulness techniques of learning to recognize the programming, and then like taking a couple of breaths and saying, am I acting out of fear or am I acting out of curiosity? Those kinds of cues but it basically helped her, find like areas of her life where she could bring a more mindfulness approach to recognizing the ways that she had been programmed to like take on the cordyceps programming and act out, something that wasn't her. It wasn't her script. It wasn't what she wanted to do. It was something she'd been programmed to do.
So when you say corticeps programming, I guess what do you sum that up as? Like you talked a little bit about it, but like dial that in a little bit for me, so I really understand what you mean by that, or what.
Okay. Yeah. So she is saying when we're feeling like it's the feeling of I'm not good enough, or when you're feeling like you're comparing yourself to other people, which is pride, when you are when you're feeling deep shame, like you're broken, something's wrong with you, when you're labeling yourself, you're taking on the labels of, oh, I am ADHD, or I am this, I am, when you're it's when you are, you know what it is, it's idolatry of identity. Okay, when you are practicing
I like that.
idolatry of identity, then you're acting out this programming, because that idolatry of identity is the mechanism that the corticeps use to draw your life force. And it's passed down from parent to child, and from schools into the children, and from music and TV and movies. It's all of this like social containment to eradicate differences, eradicate like individuality, eradicate creativity, eradicate unpredictability, because the machine wants predictable, steady 10% a year growth on their income, right? Or on their investments. And any kind of unpredictability that you're bringing is messing up their system.
Okay, hold on. Let's go back a little bit, because you said they're sucking your life force, right? Loosh harvesting. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that's
bringing
interesting.
the Robert Monroe. Right. Yeah, it's the same idea. Yeah.
So, okay, so I guess my question is who are they, and this energy that they're pulling out of us, right? Where is it going? What is it? How does it power the beast, right? So, like, I have thoughts on this, particularly in terms of the Charlie Kirk event that happened, right? Like this, like that's one of the more recent events that I just look at as like, I mean, sorry, but I see that as kind of the pure entertainment in a way. Like I just look at that as a show. I'm not trying to get to like one of the ways I defend against that, I should say. Yeah, it's theater. Like I'm not trying to get to the bottom of it. I'm not trying to figure out what happened here, but I love listening to all these different theories and what it's entertaining to me. But it's not informative in the sense of like I have to have an opinion, right? So one of the ways I defend against this is there's this Stoic maxim that it's okay, or it's actually important to not have an opinion about certain things. Like you actually don't have to have a hot take.
Yeah,
she you don't have to be emotionally connected to these things.
Right. She actually makes the point in the book.
So that's one way to defend against, but
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, but so my question is, who is harvesting this energy, and to what end? Like, does this serve whatever battery they're harvesting this loosh to? Like I'd like to know who my enemy is here. Like, what are they after? Who's giving me a little probe, a little anal probe?
This is this is where I differ. This is where I differ with her, and I will say, like, what was I going to say? Something about the theater. I don't remember. Anyway, so in answer to your question, this is where I differ with her. She's saying this is like a byproduct of evolutionary biology, and it's a way of like social containment, right? Like of social, like it's like a byproduct of, it's like a mechanism that evolution has come up with to keep us, socially aligned. I totally disagree with that. I don't think that's what's happening at all. I'm much more in this is the Watchers kind of territory, like Book of Enoch.
Yeah, it's like a Saturnian cult, right? Like it's a very
Yeah,
Saturn thing to do to
yeah.
control.
So
Yeah,
what's
okay.
happened? Yeah, so they've turned. This is my take. They've turned from Christ, who is the source of life. They still want to exist. They're still allowed to exist, but they have turned from the source of life. And so rather than humbling themselves to be part of the fountain of life, they trick us into idolatry, and the idolatry then makes our devotion to their idols, we're feeding our attention to those idols, and that attention feeds them. They're able to feed off of our
How does that work?
idolatrous
How
attention.
what are they feeding, like, but are they feeding on the control mechanism? Like, are they feeding on our like their ability to control our attention? Like they can
Yes.
direct our attention here
Yes.
all the time. And so, but what do they get out of that? Just social conditioning, people who are then no longer anomalies in the system, people who don't throw a wrench in the works at work and school and whatever else. Like, how does this play out functionally, mechanically?
Well, have you seen the movie Dark City?
Because that's the corticeps part.
Right. Have you seen the movie Dark
City? A long
City?
time ago. Yeah.
Okay. So Dark City,
a long time
spoiler
ago.
alert, if you haven't watched Dark City, go watch it. But if you don't want to, I'm going to spoil it. And here we go. So Dark City, this guy wakes up. He's in this weird place. It's like 5 o'clock in the evening, and it just feels a little off. Something's weird. And he plays out like an hour of time, but what happens is he's trying to figure it out. He's trying to figure out what's going on, and the people who are controlling Dark City are trying to capture him, and they're just kind of ominous characters. It's kind of like a film noir, like detective film is what it looks like. Like he's gone into a 1950s detective film, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. And what happens is he was able to evade them, and he's able to actually watch what happens. And what happens is everybody gets put to sleep at the same time. They're all hypnotized. They all get put to sleep, and time stops, and they shift. They move buildings. They move rooms. They move people around, and then they basically wipe their memories and wake them up again, and then they watch them play out these different scenarios. And so the people who are controlling Dark City, the entities, I should say, are watching these people. What it turns out to be at the end, what is revealed is that these are demons who are trying to understand what it means to be human, because what they can't get to the bottom of is spontaneity. They do not. And so if they can't control it, or they can't figure it out, what they're trying to do is contain it and then eliminate it, because the spontaneity is what allows someone to have a sudden awareness and turn back to the source of life, which then now they're starving, right? So they're using enticements, they're using enchantments, they're using bright colors to get us to all sit around and stare at bright, shiny screens. And this is what keeps them alive, because we are literally enchanting the screen that's in front of us with our speaking and with our attention. Like you and I right now are staring at a Gnostic energy gathering device that is
Black
feeding
Mirror.
spirits.
Yeah.
Yes. That's feeding spirits for them to be able to stay alive longer and to ultimately thwart the plan of the creator, who they view as the great tyrannical dictator.
Right. Okay. So like Yahweh as the demiurge, for example.
Yeah, this is Gnostic, right? This is the Gnostic religion.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So anyway, I know this all sounds crazy. I don't know if you're on this channel, this probably doesn't sound that crazy. You're probably not the first time you've heard this stuff before.
Right.
But this is
they already kind of know this.
This is Monsters Inc. Basically, Monsters Inc. is a documentary. And it really is, it's strong emotions as well.
Interesting.
Right. So strong emotions,
right.
They can harvest that. Mass death.
Yeah, I guess
despair, harvest.
Okay. But what I'm asking more is, okay, if I put gasoline in my car, my engine runs. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you use that kind of hard mechanical thing, they're harvesting this energy in the form of attention, which then turns into us doing a thing a certain way, a programmed kind of way, and that then makes the world go round, right? Like that kind of, people are just cogs in this larger system or machine, right?
See, everything before you
for
here,
the
I have
demons themselves.
Anyway.
So you see, but so the way that would, I guess, you see that as idolatry, which is demon worship, right? It's worship of something other than what you're not doing. Okay, more importantly,
it's a distraction from what you should be doing to stay alive. That's where Yon God's coming from. It's a distraction from what you could be doing, which is praying or making a meal for your family.
I see. So what Yon God is saying there is, it's like it's distracting you from the things that are actually life-giving. So it's not what you're doing for them, it's also what you're not doing for yourself or others that's building towards the good. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I'm just thinking of like somehow in the ether, these demons are somehow fed by that energy. That's a very, I'm looking for something I'm looking for something more grounded than simply that. Like in Old Testament times or old world kind of stuff, right? Somebody pays homage to some stone statue, some god who's not a god. There's some Elohim behind that, some god behind that that's like is actually tangibly being fed by that offering. Like that's what's strange to me. What's that dynamic? Like really what's happening there?
Yeah, so have you ever performed in front of a group of people?
I just did last week at John Heers's Art of the Automata. I was DJ Melky Prophet. I got to play music and watch asses jiggle. It was amazing. Like that, that never gets old.
Right. And so it's that.
They just want to make our asses jiggle?
No, it's the...
they do. They probably do.
But it's the feeling that it's what you are experiencing when you are performing for a group. That's it. That's what they live on. Look at celebrities in Hollywood. A celebrity is a physical manifestation of this exact same energy I'm talking about. They live and die by our attention.
Yeah, they're vampires in that way, right?
Exactly. You've discovered it.
Well, so it's like The Shining 2. It's like The Shining Part 2, right? Where there's just these sort of emotional vampires that are going like sucking real loosh out of people's faces.
Yes,
emotional taxes. You can only take so much.
Yeah. So Jeremy Nail, you don't see a guitar in his background. So here's the thing, right? So it is a vampirism. It is parasitic, and it pulls you, it causes you to turn yourself away from the source of life as well, right? From the fountain. It's easy to get distracted. It's easy to be enchanted. And as we do that,
right,
it's feeding them. Oh, and this is why the church fathers also recommend, if you're struggling, if something's bothering you, you should not reveal it in your face, because the church fathers say they cannot they do not know your thoughts, but they're suggesting thoughts and they're watching your reaction to see what gets to you. And then they're going to do that more. And so that's why we're taught sobriety. This is what you were talking about, right? Sobriety goes both ways. You also don't want to show a bunch of, we're also taught, like, if you start feeling strong feelings in divine liturgy, you shouldn't stay there. You should leave. You should go in the bathroom or go into the chapel or go somewhere where you can be alone. You shouldn't be revealing that publicly, because it's the same danger. If the demons see that you respond to this spiritual stuff in a strong emotional way, then you'll get those deceptive experiences where you're drawn into fairyland.
Right. You're prelist and,
right.
That kind of thing.
So that's why we're taught this sobriety, so that, because they can only see your outside. They can't see your heart. Only God knows your heart.
See, I guess part of me just, like, when I go through my day, if I actually had to pay attention to this all the time, it's just exhausting. If we really saw pandemonium around us.
This is why we're taught to guard
there's
our thoughts,
a grace, right? In the density. Yeah, but hold on. There's a grace in the density of this realm of existence, right? In this material realm. Like, the fact that I don't see this pandemonium, this city of demons attacking me all the time, actually allows me to just kind of get on with my day.
Yes.
And so in some ways we're just defended by this. It's a mercy. Like, material existence is a mercy in itself. I can actually just appreciate the tulips growing in Pet Cemetery there for what they are, because I don't see all of the stuff behind the veil.
Right. Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. Like, thank God we don't. Right. Yeah.
Thank God we don't. Because sometimes, like, if you hear me on different, particularly like John's podcast, because for whatever reason, Here's just brings this out of me, this sort of ambivalent reaction towards too much spirituality, towards too much of this, like, against the machine. We got to like pit ourselves against all these forces that we're against and this kind of thing. Sometimes it's, I don't know, it's just better to just get on with it and actually, like, I don't know. It's sometimes it's better just to not care. Like, it's why I kind of justify some of the New World or modern world reaction or Enlightenment reaction to the medieval. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not a medieval scholar or whatever, but something about the medieval world rubs me the wrong way. And I think it comes down to the kind of over spiritualizing everything, that often just results in, like, superstition. Like, everything means something. And it's like, I think the Enlightenment to some degree was a reaction against that, saying, look, there's just too much meaning everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so we need to, like, just kind of buffer ourselves against this overwhelm of meaning and significance in every single freaking thing.
Yes.
And I think there's actually a right response to that. And obviously it's gone too far. It's turned into this arrogance of materialism and whatever. But tuned properly, you can see why that argument was formed. It's like why we moved away from alchemy to science, right? Like, I just want to know what I can do with gold if I melt it and form it into other shapes. I don't want to have to think about the esoteric symbolism of gold all the time while I'm trying to do experiments with it. Like let's just break this apart a little bit for the sake of building some cool shit.
Yeah, it's another form of sobriety, I think, that you're arguing for, right? Like, definitely we saw like the medieval times and how carried away they got with some of what we're talking about, for sure. I agree with you. And it's more, it's not like, I guess for me, where I'm coming from is that I grew up in a very literal religion and fell away from it, and then fell into materialism ultimately and reductionism. And this is me like breaking back out of reductionism, because reductionism obviously doesn't explain a lot. There are a lot of phenomena and human experiences and systems even that can't be explained with reductionism. And so this is a way for me to kind of contextualize what it allows me to do is it helps me to not be looking for huge, overwhelming spiritual experiences, which is exactly what you're talking about, and not feel like, oh, I'm missing something because I'm not having those experiences. Like Father Turbo, to your point, he used the analogy of he used an analogy of a ladder, where he said, if the uncreated is at the top of the ladder and the created is at the bottom of the ladder, you do climb the ladder to have this experience, like Moses climbing the mountain. But Moses didn't stay up there. He didn't live on the mountain. It was like when they had the transfiguration of Christ, and Moses was there, and Elijah was there, and Peter said, hey, can we build some houses up here for you guys, because it's really nice, right? Like he was confused. And that's part of what you're talking about, where you can't live on the top of the mountain. Most of the time you're down here making food. But I think that the idea is, I can bring a little bit of that here, and I can try to slow down, pay more attention, and put more care into the small things I do for my loved ones and for the ones who I also find really annoying. Like maybe through prayer, I can spend a little more time and find a way to be around people who are really annoying to me without lashing out and being a dick. And I think that's this framework,
I think that's right,
boiled down, helps me stay there.
Boiled down to something, like what you were saying earlier, and I don't know if we were recording then, but how you have your phone set to
black and white.
Being on top of the mountain is for those your phone being on black and white. No, it is cool. I like reading these comments. This is really fun. Being on top of the mountain is for those who haven't yet figured things. Yeah, that's interesting. Right, because the point of being on top of the mountain is to bring something down the mountain to help people figure it out. Right? Like the Ten Commandments, right? You're bringing revelation down from the mountain. You're bringing the transfiguration down from the mountain. You're not trying to build a house up there. Right. And so, but see, I think there's this danger in this intellectualism that, even to some degree, what we're doing this conversation. I love this stuff. The problem is I love it too much sometimes, right? And it's just not. There's an arrogance to it. I want to build a house up there, right? Yeah. Like. Right. I want to build a house on this massive intellectual cathedral I'm building with all these thoughts and ideas, and somehow we'll figure it out. Like it's why I really, this whole idea of like the meaning crisis, like this term, the meaning crisis, is the strangest egregore to me out there, in a way. Not the strangest. There's other stranger ones, but I'm like, I'm not here to solve the meaning crisis. When I look at the world, my primary experience of reality is mystery, not certainty.
Right.
And I'm not gonna use some. There's no way I'm going to make sense of all that stuff in an intellectual way. If I want to entertain mystery, I'm part of a tradition that says go light a candle. Go to Vespers and pray. Look at these weird guys in really funny hats who call themselves bishops, and somehow understand this hierarchy of authority that we have in the church and how it all works together. There's a way to explore mystery, but it's not through talky stuff. It is in the making a meal. It's in the, hey man, let's hang out. And sometimes it's like I have a friend who I think says this well. He's like, you're not a well-rounded person if you can't do small talk well. Like something's wrong with you if you can't talk about the weather.
Yes, I completely agree.
And I feel like a lot of what I see on the internet is an escape from that. Like we're trying to ascend. We're trying to get past that. All the like, small talk is somehow not important. It's really important. Like small talk is what allows people to interact with each other, right?
Yeah.
Like we were at a on the way back from John's event in Greenville. We my friend Isaac, my son YC, and myself were at this airport lounge. And we were talking about all kinds of stuff, and maybe a little too loud, and I tend to swear like a sailor most of the time. So who knows what the reason exactly was. But the bartender comes over to us and she's like, hey, oh wait, something's wrong with you if you pick on people who can't small talk. You be yes, I'm a big meanie. Facts.
The only way to do it is
but we're at the bar, and this bar yeah, so the this bartender comes over and she's like, hey guys, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave if you're gonna keep continuing to talk about politics and religion. Like somebody had complained about the conversation we were having at the bar. And I don't even think we were talking about God and religion. It's just somebody heard it that way. Somebody heard that we were talking about something of substance, and it made them uncomfortable enough to tattle on us.
Yeah.
To which my son immediately turns to the lady next to him, is like, was that you? Did you just tattle on us? I was like, oh, this is great. So it's like, yeah, you don't know what you're dealing with here. Like, we will blow this place up in the best way possible if we can. But but it's like that. There's some constraint to just being, and maybe it goes back to being good guests, right? Like we were probably not being good guests at that hotel lounge at that time. We were tipping well.
Yeah.
But so I think that, I guess what I come back to is there's a humility to our existence here in what I've heard called third density violence school, right? Like Earth Realm is third density violence school. Like we learn from suffering and violence, and it's a dense plane of existence. And ultimately, God is just looking for those people who are in the school of third density violence school to see, okay, which of these yahoos is fit for heaven? Which of these yahoos is fit to ascend? But we've got to be good at this. We've got to be good here and now. And so a lot of this intellectualism, even all of this like symbolic reading of everything, and I like Pisios' mission in terms of re-enchanting the world. I think there's something noble about that. But it also gets a little weird, right? If there's not this humility of, look, my primary experience of reality is mystery, and when I look around at the world, I have a choice how to respond to it, right? Like, to me, one very valid critique of everything, all of human history, is we should never have been born in the first place. This is horrible. This is a giant shit show, right? Like, why would God allow this? Like, you really can go there and feel pretty justified in that critique. Or you can look at it and say, wow, look at all of this absurdity. It's just absurd that godlike beings did this. And if you go the absurdist route, there's a little more humor in it.
Yes.
And humility, right? Like it's all, and so I think we have to be really generous, and optimism might not be the entire word, but we can choose how we look at, how we sort of confront just the raw, naked, like disgust impulse of the world around us and how we see these things. And I think we have to err on the side of humor and humility. And because then, like if I can see the humor in somebody, I'm humanizing them. I just think they're
Yes.
funny. And if I think they're
Right.
funny, it's going to be a good time, right?
Yeah.
We can hang.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And so I think the
I agree with
Enlightenment
you.
brings it brings a focus on the material that I think is a good check to this very self-important spiritual quest or intellectual quest that so many people they're so self-serious. So much of these conversations, and I mean I'm not going to name names, but there was this moment at John's thing where I was filming a person who's a philosopher who's being interviewed for this film and this kind of thing, and he was saying all kinds of really high woo-woo philosophical things and a priori's here and all this kind of fun stuff, and he's good at it. He's very trained in that, whatever. And we get done, and I think I was just a little hangry because it was like after liturgy, and I'm like, why are we doing this right now? We should be eating barbecue, right? Like we should be doing something else. So I was a little whatever. And the guy filming said, hey, is there anything else anyone wants for this? Any other questions, you want to ask this guy? And I was like, I without even thinking, I was like, man, I think that's all bullshit. I think everything you just that's bullshit, bro. And like, yeah, this guy's like a big deal, supposedly, right? Whatever. It doesn't, not that it matters, but he is established, is really what I mean by that. Like, this guy's got a pedigree. And I was like, oh, okay, I just said that without thinking. I guess I'm gonna have to own it. And and we sort of got into some, we got into a little bit. We didn't have a lot of time. And within 5 minutes, he was like, I gotta run. I gotta go find my kids. Like, so it's like, oh man. It's a bummer. I would have liked to have actually gotten into it a little more, where he didn't just think I'm a total dick. But that is a valid function in the body of any body.
Yeah, it's the Diogenes approach, right? Where you're making fun of the philosophy, and you're just like, you guys really are carried away here. I mean, it's kind of the role of the fool for Christ as well, right? It's like,
well, I don't like to use that fool for Christ thing. Like I'm downplaying that all the time because I think we've made that fool for Christ thing something cool when it's like these are people who took up an ascesis that is one of the highest things in the church. Like I don't think there's a higher ascesis in the church than the fool. But these are people who would deliberately, if it was nap time, if I'm a quote unquote fool for Christ and it's nap time, these guys would go find a pile of cow dung and boom, that's it. Like that's where I'm taking a nap today.
Right.
Because I'm so naked, right. But the naked part's interesting because a lot of them are naked. That's very Garden of Eden-esque, right? Like these people have done such work through their ascetic practice against pride ultimately and shame that they're able to walk around naked and unashamed. Like that's very Genesis, Garden of Eden like. So they're actually kind of getting back to something that we're built to be, that I think that's actually the fruit of that ascesis. But to most people, they just look like they're crazy.
They've recovered in innocence.
The fool thing, they recovered in innocence, right? And so, I always, anytime somebody brings up the fool for Christ thing, I like to push back on that because I think, like, I was sitting down with Yarda Christodolos, monk, after liturgy one day, and he was talking about how dangerous, or just the dangers of sarcasm and mockery and that kind of thing. And I was like, being the kind of dumbass I am, I'm like, well, yeah, but there's a role for the buffoon. There's a role for the fool. There's a role for mockery. Mockery is important. It strikes at the pride of arrogance, these kinds of things. And I'm like, what about the fools for Christ? And his response was, calm down, right? Like we don't talk so openly about them because that is a very high thing. Right. And I'm like, oh, right. Like there was just a sobriety to how he approached us talking about that foolishness, because it is such an incredible ascesis to really do that. And I think we throw that term around too easily.
You're right.
These days, because they are interesting. They're interesting characters. And all of us would kind of like to be like that a little bit. But like my son was on Mount Athos, and he there was this monk on Mount Athos who goes up to the elder, and he's like, I want to be a fool for Christ. I want to be a holy fool. And the elder was like, let's work on being holy first. Right?
Yeah.
You're already a fool. That ain't hard. The fool part's easy. Let's work on being holy.
I was hoping that I was hoping that the elder hit him right there. That's what
he did.
Hoping. Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah, pretty much, you know. No slap necessary, right?
True.
So I don't know how we got on this tangent, because you're talking about, we're talking about corticeps, we're talking about just the simplicity of making a meal. But I think back to your simplicity of making a meal, like what Father Turbo's talking about, there's a humility in that. Like it's going lower to go higher. It's going lower to go higher.
Yes. And
my my motto is, as DJ Melky Prophet, is helping low lives live the high life. It's one of the reasons I love dance music and just really base things, like just things that are just dumb, just kind of stupid, but entertaining. There's not a lot of substance to them. Like I just enjoy that stuff because it's low. Right. And it's not pretentious. It's not trying to be anything it's not.
Right.
And so
Charlie Chaplin,
I'm not saying it's
kind
good
of approach to comedy, or the or the slapstick kind of Three Stooges kind of stuff, where it's not pretending to be anything it's not. It's just, it is what it is, and it's funny.
Well, and Charlie Chaplin's an interesting example there, because his film The Great Dictator got him put on Hitler's kill list. When Hitler was going to come to America, one of the people he wanted to kill was Charlie Chaplin, because of that movie, right? And so there's a sense in which that's the dynamic of the fool, right? Like the fool goes low as they can go to go high, to achieve the highest things. And so I guess that's what I would critique in the Father Turbo thing. I think he's exactly right. You put the high things in the simple, everyday, small talk, the low things. It's just that generosity of spirit. It's that love at this base shared level of humanity. That's where we can be most generous. And there's a real danger when we try to ascend higher than that, when we just haven't done the work to climb higher up the ladder.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And I was one who kept thinking I was screwing up because I wasn't having these big experiences. And it was a nice reminder for me of like, no, it's right here in front of you the whole time. Why are you looking over there? It's right here. It's right. It's today, when you send a text to your daughter telling her you're proud of her, right? It's healing the relationships you have with the people around you, and that effort is you participating in the love of God. It is you acting out what it means to love, which then teaches you how to be loved. And I was too autistic and too psychedelic in my background to recognize the beauty of the mystical experiences I experience every day.
Right. No, I think that's that's important. And so then when you're talking about the corticeps, this sort of idea of like, wow, this is how they get us, and there's all these systems, and there's like like if I'm on a screen like we are now, there's this algorithm that's like dictating everything we're talking about right now and figuring out who it's going to push this video to, if anybody. There's literally frequencies that are coming through this screen that are physically impacting my body right now, right? They're impacting my theta waves and all this. Like, it's just endless how much stuff is against us. It's pandemonium.
Right. Yeah.
And so
I'm not even in my body right now
like,
because I'm like, yeah. No, you're right.
Stuff it. I just don't care.
Yeah, for sure. No, I
Come
totally get
over
it.
it.
Really. Yeah. No, I get it. It's the idea of like Saint Silouan says, where you stare into the abyss as long as you can handle it, and then you
Yeah,
step back and you sit down and you have a cup of tea, right? It's like you
right.
don't have to
But this is that cup of tea,
torture
like,
yourself with that, right?
and so I guess, yeah, I'm just uh, yeah, I don't know. I look for the lower things. I look for
Mhm.
the common things, like common, right? Not extraordinary, common. Like, what do we have in common? Because
Mm,
those are the things that I think that's where the social fabric lives.
mm,
Like,
yeah,
that's where it needs strengthening. And so a lot of the cultural garbage that's being pushed on us right now, I see as a threat to the common good, the things that just are basic to us. So,
yeah.
like I had a neighbor at one point, lovely man, really lovely man. So the first time I meet him, he tells me his name, puts out his hand, and he's like, "Hi, my name's so and so, and I'm gay." Right? And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!"
Yeah,
Like, okay, like, yeah, hello. Somebody just said hello, and I'm like, I literally, like, I can't say hello to this guy unless I agree to all of your identity stuff. I'm
right,
just interested in you, man. Like, who you are as a human, like, gay. No, that's whatever. That
right,
I don't want to interact with you at that level, and I don't want the permission of our relationship to start with validate my identity as a gay man, right? Like, that's not where I'm starting with you, bro. Like, we have way more in common than that. That's
right.
way
We're
more
neighbors.
interesting.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
neighbors, man. Like,
yeah,
tell me about what else are you, like, who are you?
right.
That's how you want to say hello? And so I found that a lot of this push towards, the cultural identity stuff, right? The identity
Yeah,
politics, it limits my ability to even say hello to people. Like,
right,
I can't even say hello to you anymore unless I agree to this, like, list of things that you see yourself as, which are just all these ideas that you've accumulated that you are
yes,
identifying with.
yes.
That's
Th-
that's gay. That's freaking faking gay right there. Okay.
that is, yeah. I mentioned it earlier. It's the idolatry of identity, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah, you did right, which,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
So
that
there
that
was a
that gets
question
us
from
away
the.
from the
Oh, sorry.
common good.
Right. Yeah. Totally agree.
Yes, I
Yeah.
have I have done DMT. I have seen the elves, but I refuse to talk to them. That's one of my rules with psychedelics is you'd never, ever, ever talk to the entities because they're just gonna, that gets bucked up. But I haven't done that stuff for years, so whatever. But to answer your question, yes. Um, and I've enjoyed them thoroughly. So, there's that. But uh, well, enjoyment might be the wrong term, but it was a good time.
I have
Um,
to say, one day I
so
went
so yeah,
snowboarding.
that's
Oh, sorry. Good. No, go ahead.
well, no, that's all I was going to land the ship with on that is just that
Yeah.
I really I am grieved that we are in a culture that is so hell bent on destroying just the common good.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
we can't even talk to each other. We can't even say hello anymore
Right.
because of these things we're trying to divide ourselves into, like, we're trying to divide ourselves into some sort of definition.
Right. And
And that's a
it's all
bummer. It just
the,
bums me out.
yeah, it's the totalitarianism mindset of like everything is political and we have to subvert or subdue everything to where it fits in a political scheme. And it's like it's so gross, and
Yeah.
it's very unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Right.
totally
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Yeah, I think about that stuff, often.
Yeah. No. I like where you're coming from, and I it is a sobriety approach, and it's basically the it's like, I mean, my grandma had this critique of me when I was like 17. I lived with my grandparents for my senior year in high school, and my grandma said to me one time, she's like, you were up here a lot, and the rest of us are down here, and there's a lot to be said for being down here more. She was like,
a ton.
Yeah, she said, do you know when the first robin came this year? Did you notice? She was like, did you notice when the apricot blossoms came on the apricot tree? And did you notice when the lilacs came? And did you notice when the marigolds bloomed? And did you notice when you started hearing the frogs down in the pond in the spring? Did you notice what day that was?
Yeah.
Like, she started like asking me all of these, like, her calendar. It was like, it was her liturgical calendar, basically. And it really was a really grounding and good exercise, because she was showing me like just how much I was missing out on that was going on around me. Beautiful, beautiful things that were being revealed to me, that were opening up to me, that I was just like completely oblivious to because I was too worried about.
Okay, so now let's take that and let's flip it, because you can also get lost in the sauce just in only being in that kind of world, right? Like, it's
yes,
like I'm genuinely interested in higher concepts. I also do enjoy certain philosophical meanderings and, considering higher things and deep mysteries and this kind of thing. And so there are people who are too caught in just being down here all the time, and they're threatened by anything higher. Thus, why we almost got kicked out of the airport lounge.
I was just going to say that. I was going to throw back to your bar conversation. Yeah.
Right. So I don't want to be seen as advocating for, well, let's just talk about the weather and get on with things, and all them people with all them highfalutin ideas or
Yeah, right. It's both, right? You need both, but it's the same idea of like, you don't spend most of your time up on the ladder, because like most of us, have at least a bit of a fear of heights. It's better to come back down. It's okay to climb the ladder, but you can't live up there, right?
Well, you climb the ladder in your prayer corner. You climb the ladder when no one's looking. You climb the ladder when the left hand can't know what the right hand is doing. You climb the ladder in secret.
My priest actually used the analogy, or used the image from the life of Saint Nicholas, where Saint Nicholas, he knew of the man who had lost his wife, and he had 3 daughters, and he was poor, and someone offered to buy his oldest daughter, and he was like, this is going to be horrible, because they were basically going to be sold into prostitution, and the father was going to do it. And so St. Nicholas had inherited a lot of wealth from his family, and he went in the middle of the night with a bag of gold coins, and he was surreptitiously trying to, like, he did it for the first 2 daughters. He was able to just throw the bag of coins in to prevent this from happening. But when it got to the third daughter was tricky and wanted to stay up and catch him, and caught him, and he was like denying it and pretending it wasn't him. And anyway, yeah, it was a great scandal for him to actually get caught doing that, right? He was secretly climbing the ladder.
It just has to be done that way. Like, this is not a non sequitur. I'm actually making the same point with this, but hold on. If you're stuck in Plato's cave, that's bad. And if you're not allowed in Plato's cave, you're not part of the club. Okay. What does Jan God mean by that, Jeremy? You're like the Jan God interpreter. So what does he mean by that? Or she, here, whoever they are.
Well, once you leave, not everyone's allowed to come back. Not everyone wants to come back, but not everyone can. Right? Like, I mean, I'm thinking of like Saint Mary of Egypt.
Okay.
She was exiled, right? That's exile, is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Which is also can be
okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the non sequitur is going to. Yeah, I love it. No, it's great, man. It's so fun. I love riffing off this stuff, man. Like when I do a live stream, nobody's there, so this is actually fun for me. So, it's great. So the non sequitur I was going to kind of go into is like the story of Bitcoin, for example. Now, I don't care what you think about Bitcoin. That's not what this is about. It's just the argument has been made, and I think very effectively, that the reason Bitcoin succeeded is because no one knows who founded it. No one knows who started it.
Right.
So the person who started it had no economic incentive at the time to get anything out of it. It was just a fun project. It was just, I'm just doing this because I feel like it. Now, there might be more to it. The CIA might have made Bitcoin. Who knows, right? That's not really what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. I'm just saying it's the same dynamic of, you do things out of sort of an unmercenary love for just doing the thing, and that fundamentally changes what the thing is and how it's received. As soon as somebody knows you're doing it, or there's strings attached, or you're doing it so you can get something out of it, like it's so that's why it's so important that the good we do in secret.
Yes. Yeah. So Meister Eckhart, I actually shared Sherry is here. She's normally my co-host, but she's just in the audience now. But I shared
Suck
with
it,
her,
Sherry. Too bad I'm the co-host today. Woo! Take that, Sherry.
So Meister Eckhart wrote it was a homily or a sermon, I guess, on the merchants being chased from the temple. And this is the point he's making, where he said, who are these merchants? The merchants are the ones who want attention for the thing they're doing, right? They want to be known. It's the transactionality, right? The transactional. And he's making the point that Christ chases them from the temple, because if they're there, he can't speak. So he can be the only one in the temple. So he chases them out so that then he's in the temple, and then he can speak, and then you can begin to listen to him, right? And so it's like you have to chase away that transactionality. You have to chase away that, if I do this, then I expect you to do that. You have to learn to give with no expectation, right? And I think that's where Father Turbo's coming from with the, being around people you can't tolerate, or who can't tolerate you. Like, and the only way you can do it is through prayer. That's what his point was, is learning to be able to love people who don't like you, and who don't want you around, and who don't want you to love them, and who are kind of pissed off if they find out you're praying for them.
Yeah. Whereas I might look at those people and think, oh, you're adorable. But they're like, that DJ Melky prophet, that too much, man. Acquired taste, if that, at best. Right? So, yeah, I can see that. But so I guess it's an asymmetrical relationship, or at least it's not equal, because I can look at somebody who might hate my guts and adore them.
Yes.
Not because I'm supposed to, just because I think I just like them.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, I do have people like that.
Yeah.
And I'd cook them dinner. I'd make them a really nice dinner, just because I'd like to know more about them. Like I said to my friend the other day, I was hanging out with a friend, and I said to him, I've never in my life met an uninteresting person. Never.
Yeah.
And the reason that is because if you can hear somebody's story, like if you can get them telling their story, they're fascinating. Like, because you see all the things that have shaped this person, and it just endears you to them. I think of, like when Jesus says, love your enemies, I think it's it's the funniest joke he tells, in a way. Joke might not be the right word, but it's okay. The irony of that, or whatever you want to call it, is if you love someone, they're not your enemy. You don't have enemies if you're a loving person. I'm not saying I am that. That's not the point. It's just a matter of, like, it's a funny twist on the whole idea. Like, who's my enemy if I love them? I don't have them. I don't have enemies.
Someone made that point. They said, like, I think they were talking about St. Pisios. They said, like, St. Pisios can't experience hell, because even if he was sent to hell, Christ would be in his heart. And so he would be bringing Christ with him, right? Like, there's no place you could
hell
put him
would flee.
Right. Yeah. It's exactly. It's like Father Roman Braga talks about, where he's in the worst torture communist prison, and he was like, I thank God for my communist captors, because they showed me Christ. They revealed Christ to me. I
Right. And
only
that's
found
I
Christ
mean, that's
through
just
that
like
prison.
wild. Like, yeah. And it's like, wow, like, how does somebody come to that? Like, that's beyond me. I don't know how,
Yeah. Right.
I don't know how somebody arrives at that. Right. So even though I'm saying this thing, I don't know, in that situation, I don't know how I'd feel. I don't know if I was tested by that, if I would love my enemies, who knows?
Right.
But I think, okay, so with that though, I want to go back to this ascent versus descent kind of idea, right? Like going
Okay.
lower versus going higher.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked this to Pajot one time, and I actually forget his answer, but the question is, hey, J Paj, the cross, like you love talking about architecture and like all this really high stuff, and that's wonderful, right? Like it's nice to hear that and listen to it, but I look at the cross and I think that the lowest, like the longest uh leg of the cross goes down, right?
Yeah.
It's the longest part goes down, deep deep down, and crushes the gates of hell. And
Mm-hmm.
so this idea of St. Pisios, if he was to go to hell, hell would flee. I guess that's more where I live, is I'm interested in what happens when we take high things and bring them much lower, right? Like what happens when we go down and we go into hell, and hell flees, and the people who are in hell don't realize that, hey, the gates of hell have been broken, you can leave anytime, I'm just here to let you know, right? Like this
Right.
idea of going to the lowest parts of the hierarchy to
Mm.
bring the love of the highest.
Yeah.
So that, like, that's my move, and I'm not really in this vertical move of how do I ascend to the heights, and how do I go up 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 up. Yeah, that's fine, you do that in prayer, you do that in just the basics of love, and like we've already talked about. But I think there's a move in verticality that needs to go. We need to go much lower.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, great quote.
Right. Yeah.
Great quote from
So
Sherry.
this,
Sorry I dissed you, Sherry. I was, you're a good
well,
host, I'm
she
sure.
did react. She did react. She was amused. Yeah, Sherry. You couldn't offend Sherry. So, and I do, Jan God, I do want to bring up your comment in just a second, but real quick, I want to make a comment as far as like, it reminds me, you and I were together. We heard Bishop Luke talking. He's the abbot of the Jordanville Monastery. And he was saying the thing that they have all their novices do is dig a hole in the graveyard. And that's where they pray. And sometimes they sleep there.
Huh. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, and to just think about the how amazing it is, how wonderful it is for us to be in a tradition that recognizes that wisdom. Not just recognizes it, but practices that wisdom. Like these are monks who are going and physically digging a hole to learn this lesson.
Yes.
I mean, it's one of the reasons I love being in the church, is we collectively, we have not forgotten the importance of this stuff. So even though I'm saying it now and it's like all new to me or something, it's like, yeah, idiot, like, yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're exactly right, Sherry.
Yeah.
It's such a gift.
Yeah.
But we've known this for 2,000 years. We've stewarded this wisdom and we've practiced this wisdom. And so it's always there. It's always there right in front of us. We always have these examples of the saints to look to be able to go lower, go higher, go crossways, whatever the move is, at that particular moment. But again, I am bringing a little bit of a critique, saying, like what I call sort of American Orthodoxy, I call ortholarpy. Okay, I call it ortholarpy because, and I mean that in an endearing way, because there's a sense in which America is just a fake it till you make it kind of place. And because this is not an Orthodox country, we're guests here, right? We don't have 1,000 years of history of being Orthodox, of having that really grounded in our soil. We don't have that much blood of the saints in our soil where this really becomes the ethos for us. We're kind of LARPing, right? Like we are just kind of live action role playing. Like, I'm lighting this candle because that's what we do.
We're new
And
wine. We're new wine,
yeah,
right? The
we're
vineyard
new
hasn't been
wine. And
established here for a while. Yeah.
right. So I want to honor that, but at the same time, I'm trying to challenge this thing I see in this American orthodoxy, or particularly online, where we do get a little too uh, big for our britches in that. Like, we do get a little too self-serious about that. And so this move lower, I think, is the counter to some of the worst tendencies of ortholarpy.
Yeah. Solving fake it till you make it takes a stone building in around 1,000 years. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it takes that long for your vineyard to get established, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. There's no fake in that. Like you fake it till you make it, but once you make it, you've made it. Like, you've built the thing. It's a really good point. And there's no shortcut to that.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you can't speed it up. If you try to speed it up, it takes longer. Right. So,
but the ortholarpy world needs its trolls, and I am here to deliver. I'm here to deliver.
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah.
I'm down. Just pay the troll toll. I'll live under the bridge, and that's fine.
Nice.
I'll take one for the team. The rest of you can talk about Byzantine architecture.
Right. I'm gonna bring back another. This one I cannot translate. So finger red number 1 is to finger red number 1 as finger red number 1. Maybe I was trying to read that as a syllogism, and maybe it's not. Maybe it was you trying to. You were trying to send us emojis. Finger red. Oh yeah.
Oh,
number 1. So anyway, I don't get the reference. I'm sorry.
We don't need to. Jan God is like our resident mystic on this channel.
Yeah, well, we've got Jan God and we've got Grizz. He's got a little bit of that. He's got a little bit of the
Grizz. Dude, do you know that Grizz is a billionaire? Did you know that?
He's a billionaire. He's the ultimate camouflage, right? Talk about keeping his ladder hidden, right? Like he throws the gold coins.
I hear he hangs out with Peter. He hangs out with Peter Thiel.
Well, he's one of the consultants on meme warfare for the military.
Yeah,
that's what I heard. I heard that he was I heard he was a consultant to the military for meme warfare. So,
yep, yeah, I think that's right. And people don't know that about Grizz, that he's actually a billionaire. Brother from another mother. Yeah,
I'm gonna run with this so hard. Yeah. Yeah, no,
I think we need way more grim conspiracies out there, like, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, no, he's part of the PayPal mafia.
He's one of the unlisted, people don't know
unlisted members, but he's definitely a major consultant for Peter Thiel on meme warfare. Because I mean, that is what generation are we on with warfare now? Like 6th or 7th generation. That 7th generation warfare is the meme warfare. I mean, there's a military doctrine on meme warfare, and Grizz was definitely part of architecting that document, that doctrine as well. So
yeah, we should tell Jay Dyer. Like, Jay Dyer would probably love to know this. In fact, that would be a fun project, is like just slowly disseminating all the like conspiracies about Grizz to Jay Dyer until Jay Dyer finally addresses it on like some geopolitics.
That would be funny,
right? Like,
that would be really funny.
Like, I found some CIA document like written by somebody named GG.
Yeah,
we know who that is.
Well, I mean, Grizz is the one who's writing the script for Yi, right? Like, he's the one.
Yeah,
who's
totally.
He's in charge of that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Is anybody going to join us? I'll drop the link one more time. I keep dropping it, but nobody comes in, which is fine. If you're just here for the entertainment, we like that too. Sherry, you might need to back me up here for a minute, because I need to go feed my animals here sometime in the next 15 minutes. So if you want to hop on, if you can, Oh, thanks, Sherry. Well, you're a big part of why it's amazing. Yesterday was a great live stream, you guys. If you haven't watched it, yesterday Sherry had her sister on, who's a ventriloquist, and they had a really beautiful conversation. And then I hopped in and made it less beautiful. And then, but then we had Grizz joined. He brought his stream. We crossed the streams with
cross streams.
Yeah, we did. Grizz crossed the streams with us, and shared his audience with us, and we shared our audience with him. And then Paul Vanderklay, the godfather of this little corner of the internet, also hopped on, and we talked. And I want to thank everybody who was on at that time, because I actually used it as a selfish moment to ask people who were my elders some advice for going into a new stage of my life, which is empty nest syndrome. And they all gave me
it's awesome.
Yeah, they gave me lovely advice. And we're in the early stages. We just have only been in empty nest syndrome for 2 or 3 months, but we went on a vacation to Mesa Verde National Park. Unfortunately, it's during government shutdown, so it was all closed down. We only saw like one ruin, but the trip was riding down together and riding back together and just being together. It was beautiful. It was really nice.
Next time you do that, take the extra 2 hours and come visit us.
Okay. Can I run up to close my chickens quick, and then you can feed the animals, Jeremy? Of course. Yes. Sounds great. Thank you.
What's with all these freaking farm animals? You guys are so based.
Well,
Jeez,
dude, she lives
freaking animals.
No, she lives on
fish.
She lives on 160 acres in Canada. With
dude,
a pond, like a natural pond, and she lives a very agrarian lifestyle. I just live in the suburbs, and I have a cat and a dog, and I'm batching it up this weekend, and so I'm in charge of all the animal duties. So
nice.
So mine is a lot less cool than Sherry's. Mine is much more pedestrian.
Could we make a Grizz doll and have Sherry's sister come on and make it say stuff?
I love this idea. Oh, you're gonna have to pitch that to Sherry when she comes on. That's hilarious. That's so funny. That's really
like funny. Just a little Grizz puppet, and we could make Grizz actually tell us the truth about the real Grizz. Yeah. Yon God knows.
Yeah, but you know what though? I think even puppet Grizz is gonna be trickster. I recently just watched Smokey and the Bandit again for the first time in 20 years, 30 years probably.
Yeah.
Have you watched that? Have you seen that film?
Not a long time.
Bro,
not a long time.
Pick it up. Okay, so it was so fun. It's like it's so funny. I forgot how funny it is. It's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And what I loved though is that Burt Reynolds' character never answers a direct question with a direct answer. Like my favorite example that I can remember was she they've been talking a while. So he picks up Sally Fields. She's like running away from a marriage. She doesn't want to get married to this guy. And she's on the side of the road, and this is back in the old days when hitchhiking and all this stuff. So he stops, he picks her up. He's in a Trans Am, and he's kind of doing a bootlegging run to go get some beer to bring beer back to a dry county. That's the movie. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So
great movie, great mission.
It's so fun. It's so funny. And I just love it for so many reasons. And it reminds me a lot of my childhood, because that's the culture I grew up around. It was just kind of like the scofflaws, right? So,
dude, anyway, I grew up Mennonite. I grew up in a Mennonite community. Like, they didn't get liquor in their town until 15 years ago. Wow. So I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, Sally Fields, she's cute, and he thinks she's cute, and she thinks he's cute, and they're kind of, they're starting to flirt, and they've been talking for a while. And at one point she goes, "Okay, seriously, what is it that you do?" And he goes, "Well, I just go place to place and do my thing." And she goes, "Okay, what's that?" And he goes, "I go place to place and I do what I'm best at." And she goes, "Okay, what's that?" And he goes, "Showing off." And she just she smiles and shakes her head. She's just like, well, you are good at that, right? Like, it's just, and he does this over and over again where she keeps trying to pin him down and he just will not be pinned down. He's always playing with her. He's always just he's always just like the mystery. Like, this is the class I want to, or this is the movie I want to show to young guys who don't know how to talk to women and help them understand this is masculinity right here. If you want to understand what it means to be a traditional classic man, this is it. You're kind of a smart ass. You're confident. You can handle whatever problem comes up. You're thinking on the fly, but you don't answer questions with a meaningful, real, like, you're always joking around.
Well, dude, that's very similar to holy people.
It does count as small talk, but it's trickster small talk, right? It's like
tricksters. Yeah.
It's playing the game without revealing the game, right? It's playing along without being obvious.
Yeah, you don't show them your cards.
Exactly, that's the thing, right? So anyway, what you were saying about it's very much like holy people. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. So, like, even in like let me think here. When I think of, like, my spiritual father, if I ask him direct questions like that, he's always shoving it to the side one way or another. Like, very rarely is it a direct answer. Maybe it's a direct answer, like if we're in confession or something, right? But right. If it's public facing, it's okay. So here's an example. I'll tell you the story while we're waiting for Sherry, right?
Yeah.
There was one day he's been doing this series on the Philokalia on Thursday nights, and you can check that out on his Facebook page, Messages to My Monk, Father Christodolos. You can follow him, you can do all that, whatever.
Does it co-stream on YouTube or Twitter?
And so we were recording
Facebook, and I really want to watch it. Does it go anywhere else?
Yeah, we're working on that. We're working.
Okay, thank you.
No, his live streams are typically on Facebook.
Okay.
Now they'll do snippets of it, like snippets of a show up on Instagram and sometimes YouTube. But we're working more on YouTube at the moment. So
thank you.
Anyway, we're doing this talk in the Philokalia, and he's talking about this idea that it's good to cook plain food, right? Like putting too much spice on food actually activates the passions and all these things, and making food like too tasty and this kind of thing.
They make hot sauce makes you want more of it, though.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Well, so I came in hot on this. I stepped right into this one. Okay, so I was like, and then he's talking about like the beauty of our churches and these things we build, and he's talking about beauty and whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, well, why wouldn't we put the same beauty that we do architecting our churches into our food? Because I love cooking. I love making great food. I love making tasty food, right? Passions be damned. Okay. I want flavor. And so, so I'm like, well, doesn't the same principle apply to food? Like, isn't there another way to look at this? Like, are you saying we should only eat like boiled wheat or something? Like, what are you advocating for here? And he just pauses, stop, looks at me, right? And the things when him, you've met him, you got to be able to handle his gaze, which is level one. Like that's its own trick, is just being able to like let that guy look at you. For one, it's intense. So he looks at me, pauses, looks around to everybody, side to side, and he's like, everyone, consider the girth of the one asking the question, because I'm kind of fat. I'm definitely overweight, right? Consider the girth of the one asking the question. And then he moves on and keeps making his point. And I'm like, dang it, But it's that kind of move that is a feature of I think anybody with wisdom, right? Like wisdom typically answers that kind of way. It's not a direct, one-to-one. You're not just there's always a deflection in there, because that's important, because often, like, the way we ask a question when it's like throwing something out like right at you, there's always a lie in it. There's always an exposing yourself when you're asking a question a certain way that doesn't actually call for a direct response. It actually needs that indirect response for the actual message to come through.
Yes. So, and now I'm going to share a very irreverent example from the movie, but I think it's also a good one.
Oh, good.
So she goes later in the conversation. They're taking a little break. They've stopped on the side of the road near a nice river, a little brook, and they're going for a walk through the forest. And she goes, "Your hat there, you wear that all the time?" And he just looks at her and he goes, "I take this hat off for one reason, and one reason only." And she doesn't say anything. And they're talking, and then she's just like, "So do you think we have anything in common? Like, do you know this person and this person and this person?" Because she was a Broadway dancer, right? She was like a professional dancer. She goes, "Do you know this artist and this person and this artist?" And he's just like, "No, I have no idea who those people are." And he goes, "But do you know this artist?" And he starts naming country music stars or, actors from like Western movies and stuff, And she's just like, "I have no idea who those people are." And he's like, and they just kind of walking along. And anyway, they, a little later in the conversation, they're standing on the bridge and, they're drawing closer, and she just goes, "Take off your hat."
Oh, yeah.
And then it cuts to a different scene in the story. And then it comes back to them, and his buddy's calling him on the radio, and you see the hat up on the CB antenna of the car. Right? It's
classy.
This unspoken is what you were talking about, the indirect, the implied, the implicit, the unspoken. It's the game, and this is what the younger men have completely lost.
Okay, but also in that is the verticality. She's high, he's low, and they come together.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like she's all broad. I don't know these country stars, like, friggin' whatever. They don't share that common ground.
No.
But there's a opposites attract. There's a she's high, he's low. And then that verticality is the misdirection of how he's answering everything. That's the cross.
Yes. Right. Yeah. And it's also,
I just made that up, by the way. I just made it up, but I like it.
No, it's good. No, I love it. And it totally fits. And another really good example of this is Robin Hood in the Disney cartoon version of Robin Hood. That character is the same thing, where he's competent. He doesn't play the game. He's not part of the system. He's a scofflaw. He's living on his own terms. He's very happy. He's very at ease with himself. But then, he does get attracted. He does come in. He gets lured in by the beauty of the princess who's throwing a tournament. But he's still the whole time trying to stay concealed. He's trying to stay a mystery, and he's always answering questions indirectly. He's always teasing. He's always, shifting and refusing to be pinned down. And this is just like this effortless move through space and time is like, you just don't see it anymore. I mean, this is like the definition of charisma, and like everybody now is like so literal and so just like caught up in their own head, and they're all just like feeling like, and it's all transactional, and they're all like trying to optimize for their little checklist of like the best partner has to have this and that and this and that trait. And it is a fictional story, to be fair, but it's an illustration of an icon, right? It's an illustration of an archetype.
Yeah, but it's not fictional. It's not fictional, Young God. What's not fictional is Burt Reynolds is cool. He's always been cool.
And he's the same way in person.
He's the same way in person, dude. Like it might be a fictional character, but that's Burt Reynolds doing what Burt Reynolds does best.
Yeah, Burt Reynolds is playing Burt Reynolds in Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, it's the James Bond character before they made James Bond serious, right? It's like the Sean Connery James Bond.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So
Yep. No, that's right. Well, I know you
Man.
got to go feed chickens or something. I probably got to go here
Okay.
because my wife just got back from Greece.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah,
Beautiful.
she was over there. Yeah, I'm just glad she didn't stay and become a nun or something. I'm glad she came back. So that's
Well,
a
she
win,
went up the
win
ladder,
for
but
me.
then thankfully she came back down the ladder, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So good.
Well, she's way higher in the ladder than I am. So
Well, so
but
then
again,
when she
that's the
comes with you,
verticality. That's what you want.
she's going lower to come to get higher, right?
Yeah.
Being married to you.
I got to go take my hat off, bro. I got to go.
Nice. Okay, sounds good. Well, Sherry didn't make it back, and I have to run too. I got to go take care of the animals. So I really thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure to talk with you.
Hey, the one thing that is interesting about this, though, I'll just leave this. Grizz has not commented ever since we outed him as a billionaire.
True.
You notice that?
Yeah, that's a good point. Right. So now we're going to
He's hiding now. He's in hiding.
We're going to use the Kafka trap and tell him that his denial is a sign that he is, right? Like his silence.
Dude, of course it is, man.
His silence is violence.
Dude, exactly. In fact, like, I know we were trying to joke about this, but I actually have proof. I'm going to send it to Candace Owens because she loves chasing these things down. But we're going to get to the bottom of really who Grizz is.
Who Grizz is.
Okay.
Right. We should do a documentary.
Yeah,
we should work on a documentary. Revealing the true nature of Grizz's character, like his background.
Yeah. And he's probably he's probably plotting the next CIA manual right now. He's probably too busy writing that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, he's using AI to help write it.
He might be Satoshi Nakamoto. He may have invented Bitcoin.
That's funny. All right. So Sherry is back, but yes, she heard that we're going to fade out. So yes, we do have to run, but thank you very much. Thanks everybody in the audience who joined us. Thank you. If you're watching this on the replay, we're grateful you're here. We hope we didn't waste your time, and God bless you. And thanks for joining me, Melchizedek. I hope we talk again soon.
Oh, we will. Later.
Amen. Good night.